Good evening. Here we are again at Wood Spun Round. Things have been hectic in my life recently, but we're all good. This is a bowl that you see here. This nice big blue piece. This is really a bowl. Let me show you the bottom side. It is still on the chuck. I have turned it. The back side is finished. I reversed it, turned the top to get the apron of the top of the bowl completed. It's been spray painted with a blue. This is for the YTCCC 2021 challenge for March. So the YouTube Cross Channel Challenge 2021 for March. This month's theme is water. What you see here is blue. This is just part one of the process. I didn't want to take you through all of the process of turning the complete bowl, but I did want you to see the coloring process. In this purple bottle we have water, and this is going to seem strange on a wood project, but I'm going to spray this water to get, I want beads of water on here, various sizes. Get some big ones here and there. Oh, that looks better. So I'm going to come back on top of the water with some white spray paint. This is very inexpensive white spray paint. We're going to spray this white at a very low angle, and then we're going to turn it and we'll do something else. So let me get this on here. There we go. That was the white. I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it 180 degrees carefully because I don't want my water to roll off. This is a slightly different shade of blue. I'll tell you more about it here in just a moment. All right, here we go. Just looking to see if I want a little more. I think I like it just like that. So what we've done is it had an even coat of blue on it, sprayed it from one direction with white, the opposite direction with another blue. And now what's going to happen is these water drops that you see on top of the paint are going to be left overnight to dry. When I come back tomorrow, these water drops will have dried up, but yet the white and the blue paint that is on those water drops will still be there, and they will look like the water drops are still there. But this will be pretty well flat. I will put some lacquer over the top of this, but this raised part in the center will be turned away. So in fact, I'm going to turn almost the entire bowl away. I'll have the rim and a bowl underneath it. So all of this center and a bit of this apron will be turned away, leaving just a wood bowl on the inside. Okay, paint is dry. There's no water bubbles there. The only thing that is right, it looks kind of three-dimensional, like it's still wet, but it is not. I can assure you, it is flat. It is dry. Everything is good to go. What is left to do? There's two things left to do on this bowl. Well, two major things. One is to get a couple of coats of lacquer on the top of this. That will set that and protect it from the turning that has to be done. We still need to do the center section of this turned out. When we do that, I'm going to clean up this edge where I've got a little bit of overspray. So let's get started putting a little bit of lacquer on here just to protect this. This isn't going to be all the lacquer. I'm going to put a couple of coats on. I'll spray a coat, we'll shut the camera off for a few moments while that dries. It'll take 15-20 minutes for it to get to the place where it's touch dry. And then we'll come back, put another coat on it. We'll wait a few more minutes, let that dry off. Then we'll put it back on the lathe and get the center turned out, get the edge cleaned up. And this will be a finished product other than the final, putting the final finish on top. So let's get a little lacquer on here. And this is going to be just a light coat. Hope the camera is picking that up. I can already see a major difference in it. The way that it's, the colors have just kind of come alive. And the bubbles look like they actually rose. They got bigger. This will get, before it's finished, it'll have upwards of 20 coats of lacquer on it. I'll get the first 4 coats on. I'll have 2 on. We're going to finish turning it. Then we're going to start building up again. I'll put a couple of more on before I knock this back one time, very, very lightly, probably a Scotch-Brite pad. And we'll keep building that up, probably between 15 and 20 coats, especially on this outer rim here where most of this water drop is. So I'll bring you back in just a few minutes when this has had time to dry. It's been about 20 minutes and I can come in and touch the center section. That's going to be turned away anyway. So I can touch that and I can feel that it's dry and I can kind of go around. We know it's dry. I can still feel an awful lot of paint layers there. You may hear my air cleaner fan in the background. In fact, I'm sure you can. Let's get another coat of lacquer on here before we try to turn out this center section. Again, light coats from a distance. Turn it 90 degrees. And that's just to make sure I get a full even coat and everything's evenly protected. So again, we'll give that another 15-20 minutes before we come back and turn it. All right, coat number 2 has dried. I've already gone ahead and turned my headstock around, put it on, put the bowl back on the lathe. Normally I would have this turned toward me back where it was, but so that you can see it well, I've got it turned back straight toward you. Where are we at? We're loose. Everything spins free. Face shield on. There it goes. I'm going to spin it at 1,000 RPMs. Forgot I need to take my watch, my ring off. Would hate for either one to get hung on a piece of wood and not only tear up my project, but to cause me injury. Going to mark the outside edge. what I did there was just to mark the outside where the outside of the bowl comes. I've gone in. This is going to be the inside. This delineates the inside of my bowl, so I know how far out to come. Done 100, 150, 240. I'm up to 320 now. This is my last grit on the inside. Still have this outer edge out here to do. That glue repair is set up nice. It's smooth now. It looks like it ought to, like it's something in the wood, which is what we're after. I think you can see it there, but that's just as smooth. You can I barely can tell it's there. All right, I want to get this rim. I'm going to just do that by hand. I'm going to start back at 100 grit. This is a little overspray that had gotten on this rim, and instead of fighting it while the paint was wet, I made the decision to let it dry, and I can always come back and sand it. Still a little more to go. I could use my inertia sander on this. No problem. Like you can see right there, the paint that has come off has clogged the sandpaper in that area. Back at that lower edge just a little bit. It's got a little sharp. Check it and see where we're at. There's still a little streak right there, a little bit right there. See if I can blow some of this out. Matter of fact. Could have sped that process up by going down to a more aggressive grit, but I think 100 grit's enough. Means taking a couple more passes than I would have, say, with 60 or 80 grit. That was 100. Let's do 150. These other grits won't take as long. Paint is gone. Just smoothing up the edge. I'll be replacing all of this sandpaper when this bowl is done. Sandpaper needs to be replaced a little more than most of us tend to do it. All of this sandpaper is getting pretty well worn. So you can see they're not big pieces. I'm not going to toss them just yet, just in case I need something else before we get done. The inside is looking good. This edge is looking good. Tell you what we're going to do. Maybe a little unconventional. Let me clean this off. Real fine dust on the back of this rim. Not a problem. I think I'm going to put some sanding sealer inside the bowl and around this rim. I am going to do that. I don't have to think about it. I am going to do that. Just a few drops on the paper towel. It's already had some sanding sealer on it. It's not like it's raw, totally raw wood, even though I have sanded. A little on the rim. Put some more on the back side of here. Honestly, it's been I said I was going to wait overnight for this paint to dry. It's been about 3 days. And I forgot without watching the video back, forgotten what I put on the back side here. But here's what we're about to do. We are going to take this off here. I'm going to take the whole chuck and everything off so that I don't have to worry about getting it realigned. Unlock that now. Turn my spindle backwards. Hold on to the chuck. There we go. We're going to go back to putting some more lacquer on. Again, I use just a very inexpensive lacquer. I buy it either at the hardware store or Walmart. When I'm passing through, about once a month or so, I'll pick up another can. I think I've got at least one more can sitting over there. This is a full can, so but this time we can go inside and outside. I'm going to put it inside the bowl as well, so I'm not worried if it gets in there. I just don't want to get too much. I have a tendency to get too much on the inside of that bowl. One more time. I hadn't gotten the rim all the way around. There we go. Woohoo! Stinky. All right. We have there's about 8 or 9 coats of lacquer on here. I don't know, 4 or 5 times. No, that's not true. Probably 4 times I've knocked it back with the gray Scotch-Brite pad just to smooth out the surface, to even out the coats of lacquer. Remember, we're putting on very thin, very light coats of lacquer, so they don't go on super, super smooth until you begin to get them built up and they smooth out. and get shinier and shinier. There is still a little bit of texture in this. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put on my last coat before I let it cure and turn it around and take the tenon off. Remember, I've still got the chuck on here, which is holding the tenon, and I've left it all in the chuck so that it stays nice and straight when we go to put it back on the lathe. All the turning is done except for removing that tenon at this point, putting on the last coat of lacquer. Just wanted to bring you back so you could see this. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and very briefly, really I'm just want to hit the edges more than anything. We'll let just a little bit get down into the bowl. All right, with that I'm going to stop. That's the end for me on spraying the lacquer. You can probably see the board that I'm working on. That was a demonstration that I did for Worldwide Wood Turners on the string pull method that Wayne Clasper does so much of. It does a phenomenal job, and this was just a down and dirty quick demonstration of that process. But for us today, the main point here is the water droplet bowl. I'll bring you back when this has cured and we're ready to turn it around and remove the tenon. All right, we have lacquered the top side of this bowl. I've got it to the point where I am happy with it. It's been lacquered and knocked back a number of times. I've lost count, I always do. But it's 10 to 12, somewhere in the neighborhood of that, 10 to 12 coats of lacquer that I have on there. I have reversed it onto my vacuum chuck. I'm sitting here holding it because I don't have the vacuum on. I'll have to be quiet, I guess, while the vacuum is on. But I'm going to turn the vacuum on. Hopefully in editing I can figure out how to mute all that noise. But once the vacuum's on, I'll double check, make sure it's still in place. Not positive, but then I'm going to take off this nub, take off this tenon, get my bottom the way I want it, and finish it even while it's still on. Well, I'll do most of the finishing. I'll have it sanded and all of that before I take it off of turn the vacuum off. This is done with a shop vac. You can't see it, but I have a connection here where the vacuum goes through it, and there's a bowl here that's used as my vacuum chuck. I've turned it. I didn't buy anything other than this connector, and I'll show that to you when I get done. But for right now, we're going to go silent, turn the vacuum on. right, there you have it. One water drop bowl. Completed. I still need to do my maker's mark in the bottom, but other than that, we are complete. This is the YTCC 2021-03 challenge, the YouTube Cross Channel Challenge 2021 for March. Theme is water. If you'd like to get involved, feel free. Go to the channel for Tournage du Bois, and you'll see all the details there. Also, just look for that hashtag YTCCC2001, and you'll find other makers there as well. You can follow all the makers who are taking part in the challenge. We want to invite you at any time. You can jump in, do the ones you want to, don't do the ones you don't want to. Also, would like to extend an invitation. I am part of a international group, a club, so to speak, Worldwide Woodturners. It's a totally free club to be a part of. There are no dues. We meet on Wednesday nights. For you all in the States, that is at, let me think, 7 o'clock Eastern time. 7 o'clock Eastern time. We go for 2.5, 3 hours most Wednesday nights. Feel free to jump in anytime you want to and leave when you want to. There's nobody taking roll, nobody watching when you leave. The way to get there is to go to the website, which is worldwidewoodturners.org, O-R-G. On there, you'll see a tab, click link for meeting, or click link to go to meeting, something of that nature. And it will take you to our meetings, which are held every Wednesday night. As I said, free of charge. All you have to do is log in. We are there. Everything has been taken care of. It's a Zoom meeting, so you will need, you can get on your computer. If you have microphone and headphones or speakers, whatever it is, so that you can hear and talk if you want to. You don't have to talk. So we have a lot of folks who don't. But you're welcome to come and join us as we grow in numbers. We're having last couple of meetings, we've had over 100 in our meeting on Wednesday nights. It's a great time. Just as we say, we sit on the tailgate, tell a few lies, share some good stories, and just have a good time. So you come and join us on worldwidewoodturners.org. Join us in our YTCC challenge as well. We'd love to have you. Well, until next time, this is Doug. Spin 'em around.